I love getting rid of stuff. It's so much fun. Look at that. Woo! Goodbye. Poof into smoke. Here, let's throw it at the neighbor this time. Let's see if we can hit him. Oh, no, we couldn't hit him. Hello, everybody. I am kindly Keyin, and welcome back to Tiny Town VR. We are back in our Hello Neighbor world that we built here in the last episode, and I really got a great kick out of it, and you guys had some great suggestions that we can add to. Actually, you can probably see that I've already added a few little additions here. I did this stuff off camera. It was very minor stuff, though. You can see we have some garbage down here. See, we put some trash over there, and then we've got a little bench. I don't know why I put a bench there, but there's a box there, and then you can see we've got some trees over there. But now, what I wanted to do today was to actually add to the neighborhood, because as you guys know, it's not just the neighbor's house that we have. We have a whole bunch of houses, including our own, right across the street over here. So basically, I wanted to get to adding to the environment here so that we can make it feel even more realistic and more accurate to the actual Hello Neighbor game. So that's our goal today. We're going to be trying to make it look even better than it already does. We've already got the house pretty much set up. There was some minor adjustments that I forgot to do in the last episode, namely the piping and stuff. I kind of want to mess around with the piping and maybe try to get that pipe that comes out of this section of the house and maybe look for some smoke. There was an update for the game. I don't know what was specifically added. I did see that railroads were added, so we didn't have to do the railroad out of this stuff, but that's okay. We made do with the tools that we had, and we made it work out pretty good. I'm really happy with the way this whole thing turned out, and based on your guys' feedback, you seem to like what I did here too, but you guys did have some great suggestions, so we'll be checking those out in a little bit here, but I just wanted to get through here and just see if there's anything that maybe fits the build here. I don't see any kind of like smoke or anything like that, so actually I'm gonna go over to all and just see. You can see there's railroad crossings and stuff like that. I think that stuff is new. There's also trees, and it looks like hills. How big are these hills? Oh my goodness, they're huge. Ah, that's a big hill. Is this a smaller hill? Actually, this might actually work. You know, I was thinking that we need a hill in the front yard. Oh, that's kind of too big, but I was thinking we need a mound of dirt where the tree grows, right? The tree that we get the golden apple from. We need like a little dirt mound here, and this could have worked, but it's a little bit too big. Goodbye, my friend. Maybe if we find something that's a little bit smaller, we can make that work. You can see the railroad section. Look at this. This is all new. All this stuff is new, so you can actually build like railroad sets, which is actually really cool. Doesn't really fit into our Hello Neighbor build here, but maybe we'll play around with it in the future. So what I want to do today is, besides messing around with the house a little bit more, you know, I mean, honestly, I love the way that it turned out, and I don't want to mess with it too much. Like I said, I kind of want to try and get the piping figured out, but I think I want to focus on the neighborhood here. So basically, what I want to start with is our house, of course. So I have to remember how to do this. Yep, just like that. And we'll just bring this out. We want to basically build ourselves our yard. So I went ahead and I took a picture so that I had a reference for the entire neighborhood. So basically, I have the entire area. I panned way out, like probably like here, and I took a picture of the entire landscape around the neighbor's house. So that's what I'm going to be using to reference. And actually, one of the first things I noticed is that the house that is over here to this side is actually underneath the C-train. So our fence is actually a little bit too far over. We probably need to bring it over a little bit. Also, I don't know why I have a tree here, because there's really not a tree over here in the neighbor's house. I guess I thought it looked nice, so I guess I'll just put it in front of the fence here. So one of the things that we need to do is actually bring the fence over here. Probably about here, and then the house is actually directly underneath this the C-train that's hanging in the sky. So we're just gonna bring this over here, grab this, bring it over, get this guy set up over here, and let's get this guy over here. And also, one of the things that I can't do, or at least I haven't found a way to do, is actually what happens is the front of the house is picket fence, right? But as it moves back, it becomes like a solid fence, like a wall almost. And I don't think we have anything like that in the game. So I don't think that we'll be able to build a wall. So we're just going to have to use our imaginations with the picket fence over here. Okay, so let's go ahead and pick a house, and these houses are a lot easier to work with because they're not so elaborate. There's not like a ton of houses on top of them. In fact, most of the houses that are in this game will work for the neighborhood houses. Basically, all we have to do is place them down. Come on, where are we going? Let's see. This is not what I want. I want houses. There we go. There they are. Okay, so what will probably work for this one is a little red house. This one might actually work for the neighbor's house. This one might actually... Yeah, you know what? I think that will work. That looks pretty similar. I mean, it's not exactly the same, but it does the trick. So I think this is what we're going to use for the neighbor's neighbor. And that goes right underneath the C-train here. We're doing our best, but it's not exact. And then I do believe that there is a fence around this house. So we'll continue our fence adventures here. So I'm just going to replicate this guy. Bring him all the way out like that, and then we're gonna turn him and we'll bring him like here, and then we'll bring this out and just replicate all the way to the back, and then again I think it turns here. Oop, broke that one. Bring it out and then just turn it like that. Come on, there you go. And then bring it over to this one, and that's good enough. I mean, it's not perfectly connected, but that'll work. And then we need obviously a space for us to get into the house, and there you go. And I do believe that there's some trash in front of this one, but I can't see it in the picture that I have because the picture is too far back, and I can't really tell if there is trash in front of this house. I'm trying to remember off the top of my head. I do believe that there was. So you know what? I'm just gonna go ahead and grab this and then replicate this a few times. Oh my gosh, that's a lot of garbage. Okay, so I'm just gonna set this garbage over here, maybe put some right there, and we don't need all of this garbage. This is too much. I'm gonna put some on the porch there. I don't know why. I really don't think that is in the official version of Hello Neighbor, but we're using a little bit of artistic liberty here. So I'm just gonna get rid of all this trash. I love getting rid of stuff. It's so much fun. Look at that. Woo! Goodbye! Poof into smoke. Here, let's throw it at the neighbor this time. Let's see if we can hit him. Oh, no, we couldn't hit him. Okay, maybe some boxes. Let's grab these little boxes, replicate these guys, and we'll just set some over here, just like that. And we'll put one over here by the trash over here. And maybe we'll stack one on top of this one, like that. And let's grab a big one here. Let's get this guy. Get a few of those. We'll put one like that. Oh, yeah, that worked pretty good. And then we'll put one up on the porch here, like kind of clipping through that trash can, and we'll put one right in the front there. Okay, yeah, that looks pretty good. It adds to the realism so much when you accessorize, when you add like little touches that actually make it feel like people are living in these houses. And that's a really, really cool thing about this whole game, is that you can get so into it. You can get so deep into your details that make the whole world come to life. It's such a cool game. Again, if you guys have VR, I highly recommend you check out Tiny Town VR, because look at what we've done in the time that we've spent in it. And honestly, I don't consider myself a super creative person. This is definitely outside of my element, and I feel like I was really able to pull it off with the tools that they give you in the game. So highly, highly recommend it once again. But now let's continue our build here. Obviously, we need our own house. So let me pull up my image here real quick. You guys aren't going to see it, but I want to double check exactly, kind of get a feel for what our house looks like. Okay, so our house is pretty standard. It's a pretty boring house, actually. It looks like it might be a 2-story, but it is indeed a 1-story. There's no stairs inside of it. So I'm not sure if any of these are gonna fit the bill. Maybe what we should do is go into town, and remember, there were houses in the town section. These houses are too big. This one might work. Our house is a little bit more elaborate than that. It has a few more peaks and valleys in the roof, so it's not quite as straightforward as that one. You know what? This one might actually do the trick. In fact, I think that's a winner right there. It's not exact. Again, it's not exactly right, but it does look pretty good. In fact, I'm going to go ahead and let's zoom out here. I want to zoom out the scale, and I want to rotate. Why am I not rotating? Ah, there we go. Okay, that's what I wanted to do. Okay, there we go. Now let's zoom in a little bit. I just want to kind of change our perspective so that we get a shot of this area now. Now, obviously, we want it to be directly in front of the neighbor's house. So let's see, like right there, I do believe. I think that does the trick. And then there's a whole bunch of trees around us, and there's also our car in the front of our house. I don't recall if we actually have a fence. And that's a mistake on my part. My image doesn't show if we have a fence. I'm trying to remember if... I mean, I've spent so much time in this game, but it's one of those little things that you don't really think about until you need to think about it. Do we have a fence in front of our house? I know we have a mailbox, so I'm going to grab this. Oh, I didn't want to move you. I just wanted to replicate you. Okay, take you, and let's put our mailbox over here. I do believe we do have a fence. Now that I'm putting down the mailbox, I'm kind of thinking about it, and I think that we have a fence that goes out this way, and then we have a fence that kind of goes out this way, although I'm really having a hard time remembering. Well, let's just do our best. Let's grab some trees. We definitely need trees. And then obviously we need fencing, and probably we have our car, and we have some junk in the front, so we'll probably put some junk in there. So let's go ahead and where am I? What am I looking at? I'm looking at all for buildings. That is not where I want to be. I want to be in farm, and I want to grab a fence. That's what I want. There we go. Okay, so let's go ahead and start our fence build here. In fact, I want to turn this one around, get it like that. I think that's probably pretty good. And then we're gonna replicate this, and we're gonna just bring it around like so, and then just replicate it all the way to the back. And then again, do we have a fence in the backyard? I know there's an invisible wall that we can't get past in the front yard or in the backyard, but I don't remember if we actually have a fence. We're gonna go ahead and put a fence. These are things that I should know, but again, it's not really details that you pay attention to when you're playing the game until you actually need it, you know, and you're building it. I do know that we have a neighbor over here, and we're going to get to that. I just want to focus on our own house first, so let's go ahead and bring the fence out this way, and then all the way to the street, and then we'll just bring it out one more, and then again, turn it, and we'll just get that guy lined up as best as we can. Come on. Okay, that's good enough. And then just bring it out one more. And actually, I don't think there's one here because we need our car right here. So let's get a car. Let's go into town, and then let's go to vehicles. Where are vehicles? Where are you guys? There you are. And our car is yellow. Our car is definitely yellow. Is there a yellow car? Come on, yellow car. Give me a yellow car. There's boats? Are the boats new? I wonder if the boats are new. There's a yellow truck. I wonder if we're just going to have to make do with the yellow truck. You know what? It makes more sense that we would have a yellow truck because we just moved, and it's much easier to move stuff when you have a truck. So we're going to pretend that we had ourselves a truck in Hello Neighbor, and that's what helped us to move in. And see, it's already got boxes and stuff in it. It's perfect. All right, and then we just need some junk kind of laying around. So I know there was boxes, so let's go back to, let's see, we want to go into objects. There they are. So let's grab some boxes, and we'll just have like a box here, and then we'll replicate that guy, and we'll make a little box stack, kind of. I might have to turn off snapping here because I don't want them to be snapping. In fact, I'm going to go into here, go to snapping, and let's turn snapping off, and then let's replicate some more, and we'll just kind of put that like that, and then we need a littler box. This is a smaller version of the same kind of looking box, and put that on top of there. Okay, and then is there a basketball? You know there's a basketball in our front yard, so I want to see if there's a basketball somewhere in this game. Come on, give me a basketball. There's got to be a basketball. There's cookies. Come on, there has to be basketballs. Although everything is square in this game, so what is a ball gonna look like? Maybe there is no basketball. It does not look like there's a basketball, but there is trees. So I'm gonna play around with the trees here. Let's see. I think that we have a big tree in front of our house here. But unfortunately, there's no like giant trees, at least that I found. All the trees are pretty small in this game. So there's a big tree that kind of like grows out, you know, above the house. I do remember that because it's really cool looking, but I don't think we'll be able to replicate that. So that's a little bit of a bummer, but we'll get past it. We'll just make do with the trees that we have. There's some cool looking trees, you know, I mean, we've got some good stuff going here. So let's go ahead, put that guy there, and then I'm going to replicate this guy, and we'll put another one like over here. We just want to make it look nice. That's my goal right now. Just make it look nice. And then there's like a billion trees behind our house, like a lot of trees. So maybe what I'll do is I'll just take one of these. Oh, I didn't want to move you. I just want to take one. And let's go over here, and then let's just go bananas. Let's just replicate a whole bunch of them, and we'll just kind of place them willy-nilly all over the place over here. I wonder if there's a better way to do this. I don't think there is. So I'm just going to do my best just to try and make them look as natural and kind of random as possible. Just place them all over the place like that, and get that guy over there. I'm getting pretty close to my wall, so I'm a little bit worried. I need to actually pan over in the game, or else I'm gonna run into something, maybe punch my TV or punch my wall or something. You don't want that to happen. You don't want to explain how you got blood on the wall when you were playing VR. That's a weird conversation. Yeah, that's pretty good. I do want to mix in some different looking trees though, so why don't we grab some of these? And we'll just mix in a few of these over here. So let's go over there. I'm going to grab it with this one, and then I can pan with this one. I haven't really made use of my left hand because I'm so used to using my right hand for moving around in the game. I should really use both hands. Yeah, that looks pretty good. I like it. I like it a lot. There's also bushes. We've got what seem to be bushes. I mean, they're basically like little green squares stacked on top of each other, but they create kind of a little effect like that. So I'm going to replicate some of these as well, and just kind of put these in front of the house like so, make it look a little bit more natural. Let's see, I think we can have one like right in front of the house like that, and then maybe one off to the side over here, and that's pretty good. There is a chair that we have in our packing gear. For some reason, we bring just a chair with ourselves. There's benches, but I don't really want benches. I want chairs. Can we just have like regular looking chairs? Is there anything like that around here? Does not look like it. There's lounge chairs, but that is not what I want. I just want a regular old like dining room chair. Can I get a dining room chair, please? No dining room chair. It's not going to happen. I'm finding it hard to believe that there are so many options to pick from, and yet there isn't just a regular old chair. What is going on? This is so weird. Ooh, there's apple tree or orange tree. That's kind of cool. I didn't know that there was fruit trees. Okay, there's no chair. There is absolutely no chair. So now we know. Okay, so let's move on to our neighbor's house. And actually, the neighbor's house over here is the corner house. So what I kind of want to do is turn the street probably here, and we can put an intersection. No, that's too far. The intersection's gonna go here then. That's gonna ruin this. Oh man, I kind of messed up the layout, but again, you know, we're doing the best we can with what we've got here. Ooh, you know what? There was something that I completely forgot about. I'm going to go ahead and change our perspective back to looking at the neighbor's house. Remember, there's a big old pillar that goes straight up, and then there's a platform on the top of it. We need to build that because that is what is basically... Oh, my earbud just fell out. That's basically what's in between the neighbor's house and then his neighbor, which is the next house over. So I think that we want to put it probably like right around here, and then of course we're going to expand out this way. So let me grab what we used. Oh, you know what? Actually, I can just use this guy. I'm going to take you. I'm going to transplant you over here, and you're just going to go straight up. You're going to go all the way up, and then I think that it probably goes to about... I would say like almost to the top of the neighbor's house. So I would say like just about there. I think that's pretty good. Oh my goodness, that is very high up. And then of course on top of that is just a weird platform. Let's see, what can we use to put on top of that? Actually, maritime, this one has this thingy. Yeah, that might actually work. If we just take that and stick it on the top of that. And then probably what I want to do is, that looks kind of silly. Maybe if I put it like this. That might actually do the trick. Just put it like that. That's not really what it looks like, though. It doesn't have, like, those beams. It doesn't have anything around it, I don't think. Let's reassess here. Let's try something else. Let's go over to, is it town that has the pallet? Oh, you know what? Actually, I can just use this. So grab this, and then replicate it, bring it out, and then we can just put one like that, and we'll just put it like something like that. Okay, and then I want to take this and just get rid of that, and then we'll replicate this one out like this, and we'll build the platform out of this right here, and that should do the trick. And I think on top of this platform, I don't know if it's that big. Yeah, it's probably about that big. On top of this platform is like a couch, and I think like an armoire or something. So I don't know if we have those options in here. I noticed that there's not a lot of objects that go like inside of houses. Mostly everything that you're messing around with is for outside, and that makes sense because you can't go inside of the houses. You can't build inside of the houses. So it kind of makes sense that that is the case, but it's a little bit frustrating because we can't exactly replicate what we want up here. So I don't think we're going to be able to put what we want up here, but maybe just as a minor fix or as something just like a placeholder more or less, we'll put a bench up here. So I'm just looking for a bench. There we go. So a bench will just like sit up here. It looks super silly, but it more or less gets the effect done because, as you guys know, there's just a random platform just floating in the sky right next to Hello Neighbor's house. Which is super, super weird, but we know that he's a super, super weird guy. Okay, so let's go back. Oh man, this is actually turning out really good. It's once again, it's bringing everything more to life and making it even more accurate to the game. It's just a great feeling having nothing in front of you and then turning it into something that's really, really cool and fun to look at. You know, since we're looking at the neighbor's house, why don't we try and figure out the piping situation? So I'm going to go over, I think it was in airport no, that's where those pipes were, but I want to look, it was like air conditioning ducting, basically, that they had in here, and I forget exactly where it is. Okay, it's definitely not in there, so it probably is in town because, yeah, as you can see, there is roof vents, so it would make sense that they have some kind of like ducting that you can use along with air conditioning. So let's try and find that. Okay, we have a vent shaft, and that might work for the very top of the neighbor's house. So if I go over here, I just place this guy at the very, very top, just like, it's a little crooked anyway, so that's kind of the effect that I want. But then there's that pipe that kind of like wraps around the house, and that's what I want to figure out if we can do. Here, we got some vent shafts here. Let's see. Ooh, these might actually work. Okay, let's see if we can make this work. I'm gonna go something. Oh man, I gotta look at the picture again. Okay, so it looks like it comes out of the side of this house like that, and then I don't know if this one is different right here. It doesn't look super different, so I'm just gonna bring this one down. Again, I'm taking some artistic license here because it doesn't have to be exact. It just needs to kind of give the look and feel that we want. So I'm gonna get it like that, and then bring it like, yeah, I think that's pretty good. And then where does it actually end? It looks like it ends kind of around here. So it moves, it kind of wraps around, and then it ends like right here. So I'm gonna grab, I wonder if I can use this. That looks kind of silly though, doesn't it? It's like a, it kind of reverses direction. I don't think I want that. So let's just use, actually, let's just use another one of these. Oh, I think I replicated it twice. Oh, I replicated the wrong piece. No, I don't want that one. I want this one. Better get that fixed. Get that lined up. Okay, there we go. Now get this guy like that. And then I think if we turn this one around like that, maybe like that. That goes too far down. Okay, I'm going to kind of merge these two together. And then last but not least, I think that we could actually use this one here. And we can bring this around like that. put that guy like that. And then we just need one more piece to connect. So actually, can I make it work? That looks kind of silly. Maybe if I turn it around like that. And just like that. There we go. Okay. There you go. Yeah, that more or less creates that same effect, like the weird pipe kind of wrapping around the house, and that works pretty good. Okay, now let's get our neighbor's house figured out. Our other neighbor, our not crazy neighbor. Let's get that house figured out. I think we're going to put it right in front of this one, because what we want to do is basically here is going to be an intersection, and then the road goes that way and this way, and then there's houses lining the street in those directions as well. So we'll get to that eventually, but right now I just want to focus on the main area around the neighbor's house. So basically I want to get this house set up, and this house is a 2-story house, so we're looking for something a little bit bigger. Let me see if we can find something. Okay, let's go over to town and let's see if we can find something in town. Town had some really, really big houses that I think will fit what we need for our neighbor's house. In fact, we have garages here too that we can add to the side of a house. So maybe if it's a little bit too small, we can always add it. You know what? I think this one, oh my gosh, this thing is enormous. But that should do the trick, because the house that is next to us is a 2-story house, and it is pretty big. It's definitely bigger than the house that we have. So this one seems to fit that type. Let me go ahead and turn snapping back on, because I want the house to be situated properly on the ground and not be crooked. So that should do the trick. And actually, yeah, that looks pretty good. I think I'm going to bring it a little bit closer to the street, though, like that. Okay, yeah, that's good. And I don't think that this one has a fence in front of it. I could be wrong, but I do believe that it has a fence behind it. So I'm just going to rotate here, and I'm going to bring this fence further along. Let's grab this one right there, and then just bring this all the way behind here. And then I think that it goes out this way. There's kind of like an empty lot over here, but we're not going to be messing around with that. We're just going to have this house here, and then obviously the intersection over here. And we need a lot more trees. Definitely need a lot more trees. All right, so I'm going to turn snapping back off so that we can have some flexibility with our trees. And let's go ahead and just start placing these trees as randomly as possible, just like so. Get one over there, and maybe one right next to this one. That's a lot of trees, and it doesn't look as random as I really would like it. I ended up kind of following a pattern, but it still looks pretty good. I like the way that it's turned out so far for the most part, and actually this whole thing is actually turning out really, really nice. So I think one of the last things that I'm going to do before we end this episode is get this intersection set up, because I haven't messed around with the roads too much here. So let's go over to town, and then let's go to roads, and I want to make sure that there's a 4-way intersection in roads. Get out of here, and let's see. I really, really hope that there is something that fits that. Yeah, this right here should do the trick. I should turn snapping back on, and then let's grab this. And let's head over here, and this should work as a 4-way intersection. Yes, okay, and then if I grab one of these, oh, I just hit my couch. I gotta get a little bit closer. Okay, and then, oh, no, I can't do that. Okay, so I'm just gonna do this, and then grab this one, and then replicate that back there, and then this guy is gonna go in this direction, way out there. That will continue on in that direction, and then let's grab one of these, and put one over here. Come on, snap. Okay, thank you. And then again, this heads way out in this direction. It's going to continue way out there. And then there is another road that goes in this direction. Now, this road actually kind of pitches down and heads down a hill. Now, I don't know if that's something that we can do, but in the meantime, I'm just gonna make do with what we have. I'm gonna grab, oh, you know what? Actually, I want to grab this, replicate it that way, and then replicate this, and then just go ahead and, whoop, that's not what I wanted to do. But I want to bring this out in this direction just a little bit more. Okay, that is pretty good. Now let's zoom out a little bit. So yeah, that gives us a basic layout of what the neighborhood's going to look like. And then again, this road over here, instead of going down, that one actually slopes up, and that one goes up a hill. Now that is something that I don't know if we're going to be able to pull off within the world of Tiny Town VR, but we'll probably give it a shot. Okay, you know what? Before we end this episode, I do want to do the house that is right here. So let's go ahead and set that up. That one also has a fence around it. So I'm going to grab this right here, and we're just going to pull this out all the way into my body. Oh, God, I just got cut in half. I just got cut in half by the land. Okay, that should be pretty good. So let's go ahead and put the house there. Now, I need to look at this house because I forget what this one looks like. I think that this one has some kind of like goofiness to it. It has some like stilts and stuff. So let me double check. Yeah, it's a pretty big house. Actually, looking at my picture, this house here has kind of like a silly thing off of the top of it. So actually, let's do that real quick. Let's go into houses, and I kind of want to basically, it's almost like this. It's like a chicken coop on top of the house. Yeah, it's like that. So if we take that and then like put it like that, and then I want to grab one of these. So get this guy, and we're basically gonna build stilts for this guy. Oh, I don't want snapping though. Well, you know what? Actually, snapping is kind of working for this. So just like that, and then grab another one like that, and put that guy there, and then bring him down like that. And then we'll grab another one here and get that guy situated and then bring him down. Come on, there we go. And then one more. We got this one more right here. Get this guy right like that. And then, oh, that is weird. That got real goofy. That got real goofy real fast. But that's okay. Goofiness is what we like. Yeah, that's more or less the effect that we wanted. It's just kind of like a weird house on top of the house. So that's what we wanted. Now we gotta go back to this one over here. So let's turn around and let's go ahead and pick out a house that's gonna work. This also is a very big house. So I'm going into the town section, and I want to get to the buildings. Where are buildings? There they are. All right, let's go ahead and scroll through here. And I think that, if we do this along with this, put those two together, that is basically what that house looks like. So that's what we're gonna do. So let's go ahead and get this guy situated. Let's see, it's probably about here-ish. Yeah, that's more or less where we want it. And then we need to turn snapping off so that we can kind of fuse these two houses together so they can become one super mega house. I'm gonna try to line up the doors so that it doesn't look super weird. That looks kind of weird. Let's do this. Actually, it's almost like there's another one on the other side. So let's try this out. It's almost like if I turn this around and I put this guy like on top of here and actually bring this guy out a little bit. Just bring it out a little bit. Yeah, that's more or less the effect of the weird house that is living right next to the neighbor's house. So I'm pretty happy with that. I don't know about you guys, but I think we've done a pretty good job of fleshing out the neighborhood a little bit more. There's obviously a lot more work to do. Unfortunately, I'm kind of going to have to cut this one a little bit short because I'm still getting used to VR, and sometimes I get a little bit woozy when I'm playing. I don't know if you guys notice, I got these wristbands on. These are actually for seasickness, and they help. They help so that I can play a little bit longer, but I still get a little bit nauseous from playing for too long. So we're going to have to cut this one a little bit short, but I think we've done a pretty good job up to this point. I definitely want to do more builds, and I want to take your guys' suggestions. If there's something that I've missed in this build so far that you want me to go back to, be sure to let me know in the comment section below. But we'll be coming back, and we will definitely be doing more to add to the whole neighborhood. And in fact, we have an entire world to do, more or less. We have all the things that are outside of the map. We've got the golden apple over in that direction. There's a water tower up on that hill over there. There's the weird ice cube house. There's the factory off in the distance. There's the lake. There's so many things that we can do in this world, so hopefully we can continue doing so. But anyways, guys, that is going to do it for this episode of Tiny Town VR. I hope that you enjoyed it. If you did, be sure to hit that like button. Of course, if you'd like to see more, you can subscribe to my channel by clicking that little circle right below this window. You can also watch more of my videos by clicking on the sides of the screen. But that is going to do it. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you guys next time.